are recording right now.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome, Serkan. Today I want to have an interview with you because you have a very unconventional career path, and I want
you.
to hear about your adventures, and I have few questions.
Sure.
So the first question is about how did your career started? What did you study? Or if you want to mention something prior to that, that's also
Yeah,
great
sure.
way.
Well, I started studying economics when I was 19 years old or something. And I went ahead and I realized so many friends of mine insisted that I should study fine arts because I was doing 3D motion graphics and web development back then. Then I applied for the exams and I somehow got into sculpture. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And
Why did you like doing sculptures? I ask this because prior to this, when we meet, you really liked sculpture. I want to hear about that.
Yeah, the idea of creating something in itself from material, it's all enough, I think, by itself. Something that affects everything around, also has responsibility or like a meaning. It's not like a product that you just give someone. It's just a story in itself. It's not like you can't take an artist's work and compare it to another because each one of them has its own unique timelines in their lives. So you can see that progress.
Yeah.
And I like that really. It tells a story about being human, and you can express it in many different ways, many different materials, and that really attracted me. I worked a lot with metal and marble. I liked metal a lot because it has this unique property of making compositions that you couldn't do with other materials. For example, marble is you go from the hole to the core, but with metal you add additive. You can add anywhere, anywhere you need. So it gives you a little bit more freedom, I think.
Yeah, similar to AI, iterative.
Okay. Yeah. I studied sculpture, and after finishing the school, I started working as a research assistant in the university. And my idea was, because I was working before fine arts with the computer graphics and everything, I wanted to tell the story of using computers, and that's in performance arts or like any other means, because it was so new. Think about like a theater, you just watch it, but now you can just project lights onto it, the performance, so it gets more like different ways to express meanings. And I tried to come up with a master's thesis back then, and then I quit my job actually because I wanted to go into the 3D real world out of the
academia.
Yeah.
Why did you say real world? Like, how is it different?
Because
after now you can look back and compare. How is real world?
You feel isolated from the community, like the environment. You are in a school, everything is fine. They give you materials, you do something. You don't have the. You're always feeling a luxury, you know. But if you are outside, like you have to have your own studio. You have to pay the rents. You have to.
Wild West.
Yeah, you have to at least like transfer the materials somewhere from somewhere to somewhere, like shipment and everything. They are all real world problems. So to be a real world someone that works in it, I thought it should be better to get along. Just this feeling of comfortable. So I started working for many startups. We tried to use like Kinects and tried to help patients with Parkinson's disease in one startup. Another one we did like, but mostly I worked with remote projects. Like
in which industries?
one of
This is
them
one
was
healthcare, and then
yeah, and property management. I worked for a dashboard that homeowners or like tenants and all could log in and track their
energy consumption.
yeah, everything from. There were some people that had owned these malls, big malls, so they want to know which building, which apartment is, who's staying there, are they paying the rents, is there any.
It's such a good problem to have. It's a good
Yeah, it's yeah.
Okay.
If you have like any electrician need there, so they could just tell it to the owners and stuff like that. Then I moved into the gaming industry because I felt like this is all dashboards and everything, but I want to be in a more creative industry. So I worked for many years with game development companies. We made a lot of games and I learned a lot with the tools like Unity and Unreal. And now I try to like come up with using those knowledge and coming up with a useful
AI workflows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right
in
now.
3D or real time, or like you render them, or in real time it can be interactive as well?
I like interactive works a lot. Actually, my master's thesis was like focused on that because it can change. Like you don't wait for it. It's not a process. You can just reflect in the real time.
Yeah.
But I just try to use like how to say whatever it suits to the project.
Yeah,
you know.
It depends.
Yeah.
Like most consultants says, like you say things, it depends.
Yeah. Exactly.
But so after real world experience, what did you say about it? Real world experiences. Where are you right now? What are you learning right now? What are you I know that you keep learning. What are you trying to build for yourself right now?
Right now, for myself, I have some helper tools. Like I don't know how to say. I do some visuals. We make some video clips, not movie. There's this Chris Yanuzzi, New York-based electronic musician. We made like 3 videos for him.
Projections or visuals? Like
No, just accompany his album. We made some video clips
nice.
for his 3 of his songs, and 2 are on the way. They are coming. And
where do they can find them?
Actually, one of them got awarded in Area 51. It was semi-finalist. Actually, 2 of them were semi-finalists. Okay. They can find more information on my website.
Okay.
I update my website regularly.
Okay.
Even though content is not fresh, it changes a lot.
Okay, great. It's the living part of the internet. Okay.
Yeah.
About the future, where do you see that the industry is? Like as I told you before, like I'm trying to talk to people who took unconventional career paths. Is that how do you, when you look back to this point, did you structure and strategize everything, or was this something that appeared as you go? So I'm trying to understand how was your unique path, was some percent of it. How much was it planned?
Well, actually, I mostly evolved, I can say, because I never remember like, oh, there's this Next.js framework, so if I learn that, I can find jobs. I was never like that. Because I was always like wondrous or experimenting, and I like learning new things a lot. I already worked with many tools, so they brought me to works. Like the works find me actually.
I see.
So it helped a lot
That's
to
a good
keep.
dynamic to have, though. Yeah, great.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize for many years that I was a little bit step further, but that helped me a lot. Now
Could
I
you
realize.
indicate what's your next steps for people to start learning that as well? What are you learning right now for your future self?
Well, right now I'm mostly focused on generative AI, like the LLMs, language models, and the visual models, like generating or transforming content. that's really helpful, because there are so many tools that you can do, like paying them, but if you look a little bit closer into the internals, they are not really expensive tools, and they are getting cheaper every day. Like you can be Hollywood level quality in a few years on your own, so that's amazing. So there are so many open source tools coming, and it's helping a lot of the creators, I think. That's the point where I'm like mostly focused now.
Okay, I see. I have one last question.
Yeah.
When you were a child, when people asked you what did you want it to be when you were grow up, do you remember you had an answer for this?
Yeah, I was like, I was always, maybe I was memorized that, I don't know, but I was consistently saying genetical engineer.
Okay.
But I never managed to become one.
Sounds cool.
Because it was like something back then, because it was all the genetics, DNA, everything. When I was a child, it was just the new thing. Maybe that's why. But
that was the next thing for those times.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was lucky, because when I was a child, my family bought me a Commodore 64.
Yeah.
So instead of playing games, they also gave me some books, like basic programming and everything. I spent all my time with them. So I'm pretty sure that evolved me in the direction
nice.
that I like, because computers usually seemed a little bit more like approachable to me.
Do you remember? Excuse me.
No.
Do you remember something you coded with Commodore 6?
Yeah. I made this balloon, flying balloon graphic, but it had the initial letters of my own name.
Okay, great.
It was just
Movie, okay.
I was like amazed by like the physical. You just draw something on a paper onto this squared lines, and you just transfer it into the data, and it just appears there. It was amazing. The first time I was amazed, I think, by computers.
I see. Yeah, were all my questions, but I have one extra question. So, for example, when you were seeing this technology evolving, if you could help people to give an advice about learning new things, what would you suggest?
What I experienced from my back, like I think like getting stuck with something and trying to make it perfect, it never works. Like, you can make it perfect, but it will just feed your ego. Nothing will come up. Just switch focus. If it's taking too much time, or you see you are out of your idea, but you are in the realm of this tech stack pushing you somewhere, just go away, do something else.
Okay. Take a fresh air, go outside, come back, do kai or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Pardon.
Yeah, no worries.
Because
like the tool itself is not the final destination for me. It was never. The tool is there as a tool, you know. I don't want to make a new hammer. I want to use the hammer to make new things. That's what my idea.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This was one of the interviews for Bubbles. So I have a surprise for you.
Oh.
Usually I do this behind the screens, but I want to show you.
Okay.
I have bubbles.
Nice.
So
Thank you.
yeah, you can. What's your favorite color? And yeah.
I don't have many options,
Okay.
so I'll take the green.
Green one, okay. More technological. So we can do bubbles and close the video.
Whoop.
Not so serious.
Nice.
Yay.
It has been a long time I did this.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.